Alright, so I had to laugh at myself a little on yesterday's video. I was definitely pissed. I mean, yeah, you know, when you spend the top dollar they ask for and you don't get proper service, you tend to get a little PO'd. But anyway, it's running. I got it done, and what I did is I took all the sides off. I got the shop vac out here, and I vacuumed down inside, even though I have this, well, garbage can cover. It's actually just a cover that flops down when the fan's not running, so shit doesn't get in there. But there were plenty of leaves on the outside, so I took the entire cage off, and that was kind of fun. But not a big deal, just a lot of clean out. And then I took a fin comb, or yeah, it's a fin comb. You can use this on radiators, evaporators, condensers. Anytime you see where the fins are folded over, all that restricts the airflow. So I went over the whole thing and I combed it out. Got all the fins except for one set that were folded over way too bad. I did them with a screwdriver a little bit. I guess that comes from shipping or when they installed it, who knows. But anyway, now it's nice and clean again. It's running. It's very quiet. The worst part of this whole job was, well, besides dealing with FedEx and the company, more FedEx than anything, but the worst part of the job really was getting the old fan blade off. And of course I didn't have the the puller for that particular purpose, which does seem to be a proprietary puller that I'm sure AC guys have, in their truck or whatever. I wasn't going to buy the tool for one job. I do have a whole bunch of different kinds of pullers. Problems is that getting it under a 3-bladed fan and without bending it up was going to be a problem. So basically I just wire wheeled down the shaft as best I could, and then put a little bit of penetrating oil on it, and then I took an air chisel with a valve guide driver tool. It's made to drive valve guides out of Harley heads, with an air chisel, and that fit into the hole perfect. Well, it was a lot smaller, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to hit the fan collet itself, and to my surprise, it just slid right on the new one, easy as pie. Anyway. All right, so I had to kind of laugh yesterday at the whole thing about, while I was waiting, I was getting more and more angry and upset, and I was thinking, I'm glad I live alone. That whoever would have been around me yesterday would have gotten an earful, and small steps escalating up into a total meltdown, which after I made the video, I went into a little bit more of a meltdown. Then I just got drunk, said fuck it, what am I gonna do? Got the parts here but can't do anything, and it did rain all night long. So that little job took me about 2 hours. That's not too bad for a not a professional home AC guy, even though I am certified in AC, but on automobiles, and I have in the past worked on home ACs, charging them up, replacing certain little things and everything. Now, I can't diagnose that circuit board or anything like that. I could probably find out and do it. I have all the meters and equipment and everything like that to where I could do it, but it's not something I was trained in. Although there's a lot of similarities between cars and, other than the freon and the pressures that they run in, and that home units have copper tubing. And that's one thing. I can weld, I can braze, I can MIG weld, TIG weld, you name it, gas weld. I cannot for the life of me join two copper pipes. And I know I've seen people do it, I've had them tell me, and it does look very easy, and I've tried doing it exactly the way they do, and that son of a bitch will leak every time. So it's just one of those things that I've got a mental block for. But anyway, yeah, the whole thing is now I'm going to kind of just clean up everything, relax, have a beer, enjoy my AC again, and be glad that I didn't have anybody living here with me, because they would have hated me at the end of the day. It would have turned into a screaming match. I get pretty nasty when I get pissed off, and I don't hold back, and that goes for men or women. Really don't care who I'm around. If they start getting under my skin, usually I'm fairly laid back. It takes a lot to get me going, but sometimes the weather's just right and the bomb inside of me goes off. Anyway, good news, everything's done. Just wanted to touch base that things around the Warhorse house are in good shape and everything running again for now. All right, later, gents.